Last year was a different year for you, just not so many events, very few events. Did you just try and cherry pick the ones that you wanted to go to?
Yeah, that's sort of been the case for the last 2 years. I
Yeah.
played 9 events in 18 and 9 last year. Just cutting back my schedule so I can spend more time in Australia was really the main, and I just didn't have the heart to put in the full commitment that was needed, and I felt like I was missing out on life by playing a full schedule. So it's been a mix of the both.
And your golf course design with Ross Perrott now is taking up much more of your time and keeping you in Australia more.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it'll take us all over the world. But yeah, so far it's given me a little bit to do when I've been home. We won the job at Indooroopilly to redesign the 36 holes there, so we'll be there for quite a few years. But it's been really exciting. I've known Ross for many years, so it's great to partner up with him. And hopefully it's the first job of many.
What about your game? What kind of shape is your game in at the moment?
It'll depend on what the pencil wants to do on the scorecard tomorrow, but it's not too bad playing casually, but I haven't played a tournament since August, so it's completely different to playing with your mates or even today versus, when it really counts. So it's a bit of an unknown, but it doesn't feel too bad for not having done as much as I normally would have coming in.
And the topic for everybody that we're speaking to seems to be the success of the men playing the women. We had Stacey Lewis just in before, and she said that she had a practice round with 3 fellas out there and really enjoyed it, and they seemed to enjoy it as well. A different kind of golf, a different way of playing the holes.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about this event with the men's and women's together?
I think it's fantastic. We don't cross paths ever until this tournament. So, and what I loved is, this event's been around for many years, but last year with the co-sanctioning the LPGA and the Men's European Tour, for whatever reason, it got the attention of the world. And now, it's the hot topic as far as a concept for a golf tournament. So Annika and Henrik are doing one in Sweden. There's a few popping up around the place. And I think going forward, it could be a great model for companies, that want to make sure that their money's, spent equally in sport. You can say that automatically if you have a men's and women's event for the same purse. You don't have to justify that to your board or to your investors. You're equally helping out men's and women's sport in one event.
Great. Questions, please.
Karrie, obviously, it's what everyone talks about. A couple of years ago at the Australian Women's Open, you spoke at length about creating pathways for young women to have legitimate careers in golf and make enough money to be comfortable and to retire. Is the importance of this event in some ways perhaps more symbolic in that it is possible to do and that becomes a reality quicker?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously having 2 events in Australia co-sanctioned by the LPGA just, gets young girls, we're on TV that little bit more, we're on TV when we're playing overseas, but at different times of the day. Like this is, afternoon sport, Saturday, Sunday. So, it's good that we have that. I think with this model with the Vic Open, it would be great to see it replicated in all the state opens, and have 5, 6, 7 events like this around the country, where for guys and girls, the pathway would be not that your choice is, especially for girls, that there's a little bit of money here for the guys, but there's not really that much for the girls. So turning pro, you're going overseas. It'd be nice to know that you could have some experience playing professional golf at home before taking that jump overseas. And so if we could create that sort of pathway here in Australia, so that the guys and girls have some tournament experience before they go overseas, I think it makes that next step or that jump in level that much more attainable than just, I just played the Australian Amateur and now I'm going to LPGA Q school. That's a huge step in a big jump forward in level of play. So to be able to have that stepping stone would be would be huge for the pathway of golf in Australia, and they'd be on TV more often. So, you know, more and more people will see golf and want to pick up golf. Kids will want to play. So it's a win-win.
We've seen in some other sports, AFLW particularly, the women's soccer and women's cricket are really forging ahead. Is there a danger of golf getting left behind if we don't make the most of this opportunity for women's golf in Australia?
Definitely. You know, I was a sports mad kid, and you know, but all my sports heroes were men because there was no women on TV, and now, and one of my aspirations, if I wasn't a professional golfer, was to play cricket for Australia, and that wasn't. I knew that even though women's golf wasn't a visible thing, I knew it existed. Where women's playing cricket for Australia was not. That wasn't visible at all when I was growing up. So, you know, I think of myself as a 10, 11-year-old girl. If I was watching TV now, would I have gone golf? You know, there's so many more options. So that's why golf has to create these pathways and create more visibility so that we do keep up with these other sports that honestly have more income to allow these pathways for the girls. But yeah, we've got to step up our game as well.
Martin.
Karrie, you've had some interest and involvement in the Vision 2025 and the efforts to get more girls and women playing. Do you sense any change of momentum out there in terms of that yet, or is it too slow?
I mean, obviously it's Vision 2025 for a reason. It's a long-term plan. I think what's fantastic though is, you know, we have Hannah and Minji flying the flag, and you know, obviously Sue, plenty of the girls, but Hannah and Minji winning, Hannah winning a major. You know, again, that visibility is great, and I think with the grassroots stuff that's being done, I mean, they had a junior clinic here yesterday, and there was a ton of girls out here, and you know, that's just fantastic to see. So, you know, the more events that we have like that we go into communities and get the kids out just to get them a golf club in their hand, and if they have a great experience, that might bring them back.
Mark.
I don't know exactly the question I want to ask, but can you describe the feeling of having had people go through the Karrie Webb series and win you a scholarship to see them win a major championship? Is that just something you could never have dreamt of?
I don't know if I think the way it happened, I probably never would have dreamt of. Just last year's experience was kind of the ultimate for the Karrie Webb series. So we rented a house like we always do, but there was extra bedrooms. So I asked Hannah and Sue if they wanted to stay. And so we had Hannah, Sue, and Becky Kay and Grace Kim, who were the scholarship winners last year, in the house. And Stacey Peters was there as well, who's a past scholarship winner as well. So for that to happen and then Hannah to lead wire to wire and win was just an incredible experience. Probably the worst job I've ever done of mentoring was I probably celebrated like I won. And probably wasn't the best mentor that night. But I did show him how to celebrate the right way.
Is your heart still beating out of your chest when you think back to that moment?
Yeah, I think I understand what my family and friends went through watching me, because even though you're out there and you're nervous, you're in control and you know how you feel, and so I was nervous for Hannah just because, again, I wasn't in control, but she impressed me so greatly because she looked like she'd been there 100 times. You know, her pace, the way she walked never changed. She had a tough period there through the middle of the round, and you wouldn't, just by looking at her body language, you would never have known that. And, you know, you can't teach someone that. That's just very special talent and special mental strength and then I sat in on her press conference, and, you know, I've always thought that Hannah understood the game really well. But her press conference just confirmed that to me, because she said everything, like what she was telling herself was everything she should have been telling herself. And the fact that she did that to win her first tournament and it was a major was, you know, I don't think she understands exactly that gift that she has, and I don't want it to, to be taught to her. I think that that's going to carry her on to many wins without her playing her best golf. And even that week, she probably said that there was periods that weren't that impressive. And I played a practice round with her, and she was struggling a little bit. But champions can always win not with their A game. Most of the time you're not winning when you're at your best, but you just know how to manage your game when you're not at your best.
Karrie, your on-course achievements speak for themselves. We know that. To you, you don't strike me as particularly reflective type, but is what you've done on the course or what you're now doing off the course, do you think, which will be your greater contribution, the one you're proudest of, when it's all said and done, which is obviously some way away? I'm not suggesting that you're retiring.
Well, I think my contribution to my give back to golf, this is greater than what I actually personally achieved, because I think when I'm doing that, that isn't about giving back to golf. That's taking from golf and doing something that I personally set out to do. But my give back for what golf has given me has been as rewarding, if not more rewarding.
Don't you think a lot about the game and deeply? Now you're in the course design business. The Distance Insight report was released last night. Have you seen much of what that said? Has there been much chatter? And do you have any thoughts about distance in the game and whether there's a problem that we need to do something about?
Yeah, we don't on the LPGA. I don't know if it's ever explained well enough, but the technology is designed for those guys. It's not designed for even us. We get a little bit of benefit out of it, but it's designed for guys that have swing speeds over 115 miles an hour, and anyone that's 120, 125 miles an hour, they're the ones that can hit it 30 yards further with certain driver or a certain golf ball. For the rest of us, we might find small incremental changes, but overall I think it does, because going to golf course design, like Indrapilli, we're redesigning that golf course. They're losing some land because they're selling it off for development. So it's not going to be an overly long golf course if they were to play a Queensland Open there, or an Australian Amateur there, or whatever. So the challenge is then you don't want to trick it up too much, but you need to make it that it has to have a defence. And I think Royal Melbourne proved beautifully that was under 7,000 yards, and it wasn't a birdie fest out there, and it wasn't stupid, like ridiculously hard and fast greens like I've seen there. Like, it was quite playable, and they still struggled a little bit. So, but with the distance, I think they do need to. It can't keep going. There has to be a limit at some point, because golf's going to run out of room. We can't build bigger and longer golf courses, and the best ones. The great thing for women is that these great old golf courses in the States that never wanted us to play on them now can't host a men's event because they're too short. So now they actually want us to come and play their golf course. So for us, we've gotten the chance to play these great golf courses now because they're too short for the guys. They can never hold a major championship again.
I promise, last one from me, Karrie,
you.
till the next person
Thank
comes
you.
in. The collaboration between the LET and the LPGA, just your take on that for the state of women and the state of women's golf generally, I guess, internationally.
Yeah, I'm really glad that LET took that offer up. It's not great for the health of the LPGA for the LET to go down the tubes. Some of our best players have started on the LET. I started on the LET. It's a great pathway to playing on the best tour in the world. And again, if that goes away, European girls go and play football or, another sport because they don't see it. So, that was the best thing. And obviously, it's been proven to be a good joint venture because with the RNA and the European Tour also coming and helping, they've got quite a healthy schedule. They're not playing for tons of money, but it's better than playing for nothing, and no events. So for that quicker turnaround, it's impressive that that's happened so quickly, but I think it's only going to strengthen the women's game and diversify, who are the top players in the world.
Okay, gentlemen, okay, ladies, thank you. Thank you for a great interview and thanks for giving us a lot to think about.
Thanks, Kathy.
Okay, done.
Thanks, guys.